lettuce. I'm just gonna eat some lettuce. Anything.
Huge operation, Chris. He still can't borrow.
Wow. I thought I had seen everything. That.
They're giving him a chance.
Give it up for Robert Clark, everybody. I mean, it takes some big kahunas to come up and sing that way about Jesus. Okay.
Hey, Chris, you left this game. What left it?
Stand up for Jesus.
I brought him.
Was that just normal for you guys, you 20-year-olds, like kind of weirdos? Is that like normal? That didn't phase you, did it? Didn't phase you a little bit? It's like whatever, you're like open. You're like,
What do you want to know about?
Awesome. Alright, I'm very excited because we have 2 more comics left on the show. Now listen, here is the good news. They're both fantastic. And we're going to have a really good time. Alright, so are you guys up for that? Come on, yeah! Is the Boston, he's representing Boston.
I brought all these people. Alright. Guys, how many of you, besides my father, have ever been hungover at a funeral? Oh, by the way, he looks like Crocodile Dundee after relapsing. I just want to say. Going back to the funeral, it was the day after Black Friday shopping in November, and it was my dad's dad, so it made sense. It was appropriate. We go to the service. There's this huge hippie woman priest. She wasn't a nun. She didn't have the nun attire on. But I'm just like lulling like in and out of consciousness. All of a sudden, my aunt comes up and is like, I'm going to read you a poem that my dad wrote. My grandpa had dementia, so I was really excited. Like, I was expecting like a story about Ty Cobb fighting Nazis on the moon or something. I was really excited. But I'll never forget this. She reads the poem, the first line. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. My daughter's name is Sue. And I start laughing like half a second before everyone else starts laughing. Which is really awkward because everyone else did. But if you really think about it, that was like the most sobering lesson in genetics for me. Like, so much of my life made sense. Like, everything. Alright. Guys, it's Lent. Who's pumped? Lent? Alright. Yeah, that guy's pumped. That guy gave up subtlety for Lent. Ash Wednesday. Guys, Ash Wednesday was a couple weeks ago, and I don't really get that. Because as a priest, I would just screw with people when I was administering the ashes. I'd be like, from dust you have come, from dust you will return. From dust you have come, from dust you will return. Simba. When you think about it, every Wednesday, guys, every Wednesday is Ash Wednesday if you're an arsonist. I have more days of the week jokes. Every Thursday, guys, is Thirsty Thursday in Ethiopia. Which is why you should donate to charity. Keeping with the religious theme, every Sunday is Palm Sunday if you're a sex addict who's lost his touch. As I was introduced, I go to Boston College, and I really like it, but one of the bad things about it is like it's not really diverse. Like Boston College is like this room with like 2 more black people, so I'm not even making that up. So what I want to do, I'm taking steps. I'm forming a extreme sports competition that promotes cultural diversity, and I'm gonna call it the Malcolm X Games. Hear me out. The signature game, Sojourner Truth or Dare. Which is like regular Truth or Dare, but with a lot more at stake. Like, hey, I dare you to go liberate those people in the corner. The cuisine, Crispus of tacos. They taste like freedom. And finally, you can all whittle sculptures of the first American president. That's right. You all could be George Washington carvers. That joke does a lot better in Boston because their public school systems aren't failing. So. Speaking of which, I substitute teach, and I was at Union High all this week.
Not something to cheer about.
And one of the things I don't like is that there's no policy prohibiting from molesting your boyfriend in the hallway. And I'm not talking about like Nicholas Sparks like kissing on the cheek, holding hands. I'm talking about like they're fucking like in each other's pockets, making out. Their saliva drenching their GED study guides. It's just really fucking terrible. It's like a jet stream of herpes traveling through the hallway. It's fucking gross. Cafeterias suck. This is a true story. There was a drug bust the day before Christmas break in a middle school, and I was subbing for 8th grade English, and this kid comes up to me because we were watching a movie, hands me the film Medea Goes to Jail, and I was like, Mr. Hall, can we watch this instead? And I look at him and I was like, no, there's no educational value to this movie at all. And he was like, you're a fucking racist. So I had that hanging over my head. And at the end of the period, this girl starts puking in the garbage can. And I put on teacher mode and just put a garbage can in front of her and walk away. And she leaves, but then she comes back. It's like, it's okay, Mr. Hall. I knew I needed to puke. And long story short, there was a kid selling Percocets to other 8th graders. But the kicker is he was selling them 2 for $5. And when I found this out, I was like, wow, you are a shitty drug dealer. You not only do you fail as a student and as a criminal, you fail as a drug dealer. Congratulations, you have absolutely nothing to contribute to society. I have a crush on a girl, guys. Because deep down, I'm just a preteen virgin with a hastily made bologna sandwich tucked away in his Superman lunchbox. And I know you're wondering, what happened to the Batman lunchbox? Well, the bullies took that, so I have to cope. It's really complicated because she just got out of a messy relationship, and she's a junior, and I'm graduating, and I might not see her again. It's just a shitstorm of feelings, basically. And, but I really hope whatever happens, it goes better than my last relationship. Because last year, I dated a girl, and I went abroad last summer for a month to study romantic poetry in England, because I love wasting my mom's money. And she dumped me the day I got back, because I forgot to call her from the airport. And apparently that makes me the fucking Antichrist. And she's dating a pizza man now, which is funny because I never knew she had cliched fantasies. So... And she actually called me out. She called me and was like, he's a fucking landscaper. I was like, sorry for not giving him the credit he fucking deserves. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. BC, I'm going out of order. BC had the vagina monologues on campus last month, and it was moving. It was really good, but it also inspired me. I want to create my own show called the Vagina Dialogues, where I just go on stage with 5 different women. It's like, oh, ma'am, how's your vagina? Oh, that's cool. Ma'am, is your vagina doing all right? Oh, that's cool. And that's it. I'm going to be honest, that joke needs to be fleshed out. So, I'm just saying.
I don't know where he came from.
Yeah, I don't know where I came from either. From that woman over there. Cooter mom, that's fucking weird. Someone please have, no, seriously, someone have sex with my mom. Because there's nothing worse than telling her about my exploits and you just hear that hint of jealousy in her voice. Okay, I hear you're better than in, bitch. Hold on. I was recently offered cocaine after a one-night stand, which is weird because those two events separately from one another never happened to me. So for them to happen like right after one another was just completely fucking ridiculous. And what happened was I was at a party. This girl and I hit it off. We went back to my place. My roommate saw that we were about to do funky stuff, and then they left to go to another party. We had sex, boring. She leaves. I come back. They're like, hey Kevin, did you fuck that chick? And I was like, yeah, bro, I totally did. Because that's how I talk when I accomplish things. And they're like, that's awesome. Do you want to come do cocaine? And I was like, no. What kind of fucked up award system is that? I was like, congratulations, you got married. Have some crystal meth. But they were persistent, which is weird. They were like, okay, you don't have to do cocaine, but do you want to be in the room with us while we do cocaine? And I was just like, no, how fucking lonely are you? What the fuck am I supposed to do? Do you just play like You Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman from the Poster while you're snorting lines? Like, what the fuck am I going to do if they're all doing coke and I'm not taking inventory of the shit I'm going to steal? That's totally selfish. I got some one-liners and I'll get the fuck out of here because I want to get drunk. It's a birthday. Alright. Did you guys know that back in the day, Robert E. Lee forced his enemies to give him hand jobs after battles? He wanted to feel the tug of war. I won an award for promoting earthquake awareness. It was a landslide victory. This is something that's been bothering me for a while. If you go on strike in an abortion clinic, is that still considered a labor stoppage? That's an inside joke, I know. I'm going straight way to hell. Alright, I don't have anything to close. You've all been great. I'm going to go drink myself stupid now.
Alright, you guys have been such a fantastic crowd.